So as I put in that morning, one of the first things that I noticed that morning was the lack of cloud cover. It was still a little bit cooler, but it was still, mostly sunny conditions once the sun come up. And I was like, well, I'm going to take and change gears. I'm going to take and go in an area where usually you can go and catch quite a good bit of numbers. Usually always bait fish around surrounding, so that's the direction I headed in. After making the first stop, I had literally exhausted all the baits. I'd went through round after round after round with all the different baits that I had, and I decided to go back to Old Faithful. Picked up a spoon. I'd been marking fish crazy, just they were there, they just wasn't eating, and made a cast, fired out with a spoon, and as I was working the spoon, its water depth in that range is about 20-25 foot, and as I was pumping it, letting it flutter back down, I literally just felt the tension pulling on it, and as I reared back, set it, there was my first fish, and got it, fighting it back to the boat, and I didn't realize, how big this thing is. Well, spoon fishing is quite tough sometimes to really judge, and I could tell there wasn't no good solid 3+ pound fish, and the spoons are key. Is you've got to just keep that reel going, keep it moving, keep it under the surface, or else it'll sling the hook. And that goes to show exactly right here. Whenever I make the boat flip, gets in the boat, starts moving that head left to right, slings it off. After getting hung up, having to retie my bait, reposition the boat back again, pulled up this spot. It has a pocket of standing timber in it. The ditch line that's actually got quite a few pieces of timber following that creek channel back out, and fired out there, made a cast, I made the cast back into there with a spoon. This fish just absolutely clobbered the bait, and that made my second fish for the morning.
Boat flipping threes, baby. Check them out. Yes, sir. Pow! Check it out.
So here I am approaching the culvert. Only I could think. Nearly lunchtime, windy conditions, pick up spinnerbait. And as I'm approaching the culvert, I've never caught a fish in this box culvert, but I'm just recover ground, go through it. And about halfway back into the culvert, had to move the boat, shift it over to the left a little bit just so I could be able to cast into it. And as I'm reeling my spinnerbait in, I feel the loading up of the spinnerbait. I set the hook, and I'm like, which way do I go? I can't go right, I can't go left, I can't use the net. Here I am, I'm just, you know what, I gotta boat flip it. Nearly a 2-pound spot. Here this is, my third fish, and I'm like, oh my gosh. It's like I can't even take and put this fish and weigh it and put it on one of my cold balls. So had to drive through the culvert, and that was a first for me. Never have caught a fish while going through the box culvert, and that was fun. So here I have, I've made nearly an entire lap around this area that I'd found pre-fishing. I threw a spinnerbait, I threw soft plastic, just nothing was really keying in for me. And I decided to pick up my Old Faithful Strike King 4.0 square bill and sexy chartreuse color. And I love that bait. Fishing this area of a road bed, it's got a little bit of a drop to it. Key is, it was around grass. Pulled back, thought it was grass, just felt it, and all of a sudden it was just loading up. It jumped. I was like, oh my gosh, this is a decent fish. So key element is always, when you're fishing by yourself, have that net handy to grab. Because this fish very well could have come off. And it was definitely getting that fish in the boat pumped me up, because the time that I'd put into trying to find where these key fish were at. I mean, keep in mind, I knew there were no 5-pound fish, but I had spent 2 days pre-fishing up there before the 30-day cutoff and could not find anything like that. So I was pumped. Now we just see if we'll take it hold more.
Bag it. Bag it. There's more down here, baby. There's more. Do it. Do it. Big old coal. Check it out, boy. Get him. What it is, there's a bunch of bait lined up along this edge, transition grass, and they just sitting there picking them off. And we gonna sit there and we gonna pick them off.
So here we are coming down to the end of the day. Wind is picking up, it's getting worse. I'm still trying to key in on this little particular small patch of grass where these fish was just, seemed like they was wanting to stay right on the edge of it. And as I pulled back, the grass was so thick in that area and thought it was grass, and I couldn't tell if it was fish at first or not. And as I was pulling it, I started feeling the head shakes. And again, that spot lock, old Trex, Dakota spot lock, worth its weight in gold. Didn't have to worry about it. Hit that button, was able to stay there from beginning to end. Just got to make sure to keep it out of the trolling motor. So, handy net close by, was able to take and make another key element coal, thanks to that Strike 4.0. So here I'm heading back. I had noticed a couple of key fish on graph. I mean, they had some size to them. You can tell with these hummingbird helixes, you can really see them. So I was reeling it in. You can watch my rod real close, and all of a sudden, boom! It pulls, and I just missed it. Opened the bell back up, sitting there trying to work it, and could not get it to eat. As I was sitting here watching, there was some fish coming up, blowing up right beside the bank. They was pushing bait from out in open water up against these points, and fired out there, and hadn't even been in the water, very, very far from the initial part of the cast, and it loads up. And so I'm reeling this thing in. I'm like, yeah, it's probably a spotted bass, probably not that good of a fish, maybe. I'll just wait till I get closer and see, because the spot, I mean, sometimes they grow on you, sometimes they get smaller. You don't ever know. So I'm pulling it up to the boat, and this thing just starts digging. So I'm thinking, I might need this net actually after all. And I'm going to slow this video down to see. I can't quite tell. Spotted bass are very hard to kind of judge, especially by weight whenever you're looking at it. But as it jumped, it might have been 2 pound. I don't know. And of course, it just slung the hook. Time to take the boat, put it on the trailer, get those 3 fish in a bag, carry them in for weigh-in. But before we do that, I'd like to take a moment and thank our sponsor, Georgia 811, for their commitment in helping us spread the message of contacting 811. Used to it was call 811. It's amazing how, say, 20 years worth of technology has advanced so much that it is now contact 811 before you dig. If you've got that excavation project that you got to do, either it be that honey-do list of replacing your mailbox, simple as that, excavation without calling, finding those utilities, an accident can occur so quickly. So make sure, contact 811 before you dig. Dial it by 811, or if you'd like, I can give you the link within the description below of getting online, either by your smart device or computer, and setting up all of the information that you have to provide to 811. So again, I'd like to thank Georgia 811 for their commitment and helping us spread the message of saving people's lives.